You're off to see the wizard, the wonderful Wizard of Oz. You'll find he is a wizard, a whiz, if ever a whiz there was.
Remember to click like, subscribe, the bell notification, and whatever else YouTube has you clicking on to support us. What's up, everyone? I am the Kaishin Okami from the Toku and Animation News Network, and it is time to kick off Halloween month 2024. Today I'm going to be taking a look at a Garo movie that should have come out on Blu-ray in America a long ass time ago, but never did. And that is Garo, Lament of the Dark Dragon. Or is it Cry of the Blue Dragon? Garo and the Wailing Dragon? I'm not sure, as this movie seems to have a lot of different names. Anyway, towards the end of Makai Senki, titular hero Kouga Saijima made a deal with an ancient entity named Gajari to enter the Promised Land for a quest if he helped them defeat Ganon. Now he must honor his pact and set his sight on whatever Gajari's journey may entail. Is Garo's adventures in Oz a wonderland of excitement? Or should Kouga have stayed home? Let's watch to find out. The characters and plot. Given this movie is a sequel to Makai Senki, you should already know that our lead hero is Kouga Saijima, who is the current knight to don the Garo armor. The movie kicks off with Gajari ordering Kouga to find an item called the Fang of Lament. Entering into the Promised Land tosses Kouga into a James Bond opening sequence, where he is immediately hit by your typical video game trope of losing all of his gear. He proceeds to pick up his sword, only for it to turn into a mechanical beast and run off. As such, Kouga's quest has been put on hiatus, for he must regain his equipment in order to proceed forward. It's getting a little Metroidvania up in here. Kouga's exploration brings him into contact with a blue-skinned woman named Mel, who sets feminism back by 50 years.
あんたもしかして人？
お前は人じゃないのか？
当たり前だろ？私は物だよ。
物？
Anna Oi portrays Mel, who was in the live-action adaptation of Paradise Kiss. Kouga also meets a scarecrow.
じゃあな、かかし。
そう。俺の名は。ありがとよ。名前をつけてくれてな。
Kamen Rider Gaim fans should know Scarecrow, as he is played by Yuki Kubota, Zengetsu.
いい香り。魔竜が現れる嘆きの海まで一気に飛ぶぞ。
Scarecrow reminds me of the character from Howl's Moving Castle, which was made even funnier because he has a house that has legs, which resembles a jack-o'-lantern wearing a hat. He's also assisted by the most ferocious-looking teddy bear ever. Second most ferocious teddy bear ever. Unlike Mel, Scarecrow is not so subservient to Kouga and is constantly challenging him to a duel, and the two scuffle throughout the remainder of the film when they aren't dealing with the evil queen, but more on her later. The last character Kouga befriends is Kirya, who looks like the love child of a troll in a pen. Now that would make an interesting song from Picotaro. Interestingly, Gonzo's actor, Yukijiro Hotaru, is the one who voices Kirya.
そなたの力をわしらに貸してくれ。その剣で魔竜を倒してほしい。
Kirya is an expert marksman who wields a bow and arrow to take down his adversaries.
樹は顔を狙う。
こんにゃろ。
They all in their own way help Kouga acquire his missing items, which includes Zaruba, his coat, and sword. Of course, how can any quest be worth traversing if there isn't some sort of evil entity, preferably a queen, to get in the way of things? That is where Lady Judam comes into play. Keiko Matsuzaka pours her talents to this witch who collects all things she considers to be beautiful so that she may snack on them at some point in the future.
この地にある綺麗なものはみんな私のものなの。私のごちそうなの。
Matsuzaka has an enormous filmography that includes an episode of Ultra 7, a film from 1982 named Fall Guy about a stuntman gone rogue, and the 99th season to a morning show known as Renzoku Terebe Shosetsu.
うるさい、汚い、みすぼらしいってあなたのことよ。
Judan also has the ability to take beings' names away from them, which is essentially a death sentence in the Promised Land. The moment a creature or something loses their name, they disintegrate as if they were just blipped out of existence by Thanos. Worse, everyone forgets they even existed in the first place, which is how Scarecrow initially became an actual Scarecrow.
あれ？
どうしたキリア。
俺はどうして泣いているんだ？
何を言ってる。お前の大切な友達が無になってしまったんだろう。
The souls of those with lost names may rise again as beasts that look like they stepped out of Zelda Majora's Mask. It doesn't help the moon looks like this.
あの月が完全に黒くなったら魔竜が出現する。
魔竜が出現すると大半のものは無になってしまうのじゃ。無になってしまうとわしらは。
Judan's ultimate goal is to become one with the Dark Dragon and use its powers to enter the real world so she may terrorize it as a real witch. She's a decent villain, though inferior compared to Kiba and Red Mask.
ここにその新しい綺麗なものを入れようと思っていたのよ。わかるでしょ？でも持ってこられなかったのよね。
Overall, the film is interesting and well-paced. Kouga receives a movie-exclusive item for the climactic battle. The biggest detractor to this film is it is not friendly to newcomers to the franchise. Kouga has no character growth given it is an extension of the TV series. As such, anyone that makes this their first Garo adventure is going to be quite lost. Additionally, there is a pointless scene towards the beginning featuring Zero and Tsubasa that has them talking about some sort of tournament that has nothing to do with anything else and feels like they are just tacked on for the sake of being in the film.
やはりお前と俺の決勝になったな。
ああ、全力で行かしてもらうぜ。
ところでレイ、サバックで勝利した者は死人の間に入ることが許される。お前は誰か会いたい者がいるのか？
Zero shows up again at the end after Kouga has returned to the real world to tell him about his victory, which makes it even lamer because we don't have any context as to what he is even talking about. It's a time waster and did not need to be there. And again, if you're new to Garo, you will have no idea who these people even are. The other sequence I was not a fan of was this dance number that has Mel turning Kouga into a child for some dance-off. It's extremely short, and I'm unsure as to why it was even a thing in the first place. It is visually stunning, however, which makes for a great transition into the effects and music. Before King Oger, there was Garo, Sokoku no Mariu. 99% of Lament of the Dark Dragon is chroma keyed.
I feel like I'm wasting a fortune just standing here.
Kouga is traveling in a world that does not exist, a world that resembles a storybook, and surprisingly, the production team managed to make it work without it looking completely awkward. A decade later, that was something King Oger struggled to do at times, which was thankfully easy to overlook due to its engrossing story. Kouga meets a plethora of fantastical creatures who look as weird as they do interesting. In fact, I would have loved to have been able to get to know every creature that appeared in the film, as they all looked like they had interesting stories. The fight sequences remain as stellar as they are in the series. The sequences on the speeder bikes are pretty cool too, but they were missing a little something to spice them up, which I have graciously improved for the film. Here it is normally. Now let's watch it with the added sound effect. See? Much better. The designs are what you would expect from Amameya's taste, and he goes all out here, notably with his dark dragon at the end. Makai Senki Shunji Inoue returned to score this film, and while it isn't as good as the music found in the show itself, it works. This was to be expected given how the movie is more fantasy than horror compared to the series. It would only make sense for the soundtrack to follow suit. Still, there are several good pieces, and the opening sequence's music is astonishing. Jam Project continues their trend of doing music for the franchise by doing a song for the end credits. It's a pretty good ending theme that pulls you out of the movie. Garo, Lament of the Dark Dragon is a highly entertaining film that perfectly bookends Kouga's story. It is definitely worth watching after Makai Senki, as it acts as a wonderful series finale to his tale. It is a real shame we did not get this released on Blu-ray in America, as it would have been a good conclusion of the Kouga Karu storyline. Until next time, bye!
Welcome, human. I am Zordon, an interdimensional being caught in a time warp.